Hey guys, I'm back again from Common Sense Parenting, and today we're going to talk about how to find solutions to your problems with your children. Most of us talk incessantly about the problems when we are talking to our children about issues and things that we don't like. We do nothing but focus our attention on everything that they did that we do not like, and we just keep talking about it over and over and over again. You always do this. Did you hear me? Are you listening? Why are you doing this? Let me tell you all the ways why and how you're wrong. And we just beat that dead horse until they don't hear anything. I mean, just me saying it out loud makes me bored listening to myself. And our children are no different. You get what you focus your attention on. And if you want to beat the dead horse and talk nonstop about all the things that they do wrong, then that's all they see as well. They just see all the things that they do wrong, and that's how you're seeing them. And so you continuously get, typically, the same things over and over again. So what I did to change that was I stopped focusing my time and all my attention on the things that they were doing wrong. I mean, it was obvious what they were doing wrong. We didn't need to talk about it for 20 minutes. So instead, I just would state it. I would say, you did this thing and I'm not happy about that, or it, affected everyone in this way. And then I would quickly move to the solution. I would say, so this is what happened, and what are things that we can do together to move past this so that it doesn't happen again? And this might seem really simple, but most of us really hammer our kids, and other people for that matter, for the things that they do wrong, and we focus our attention on the thing that we don't want. And this is a very different approach. So you can definitely state what you don't like, and then quickly move to things that you guys could do together to change it so that things like that don't happen again. You can take this a step further, because one of the reasons that you're getting a lot of what you're getting from your children is because your focus is so strong on what it is that they're doing wrong. And especially if you state what they're doing wrong over and over again to them, which most of us do, then they start to believe that about themselves. So like if I continuously tell my son that he's always forgetting and he's forgetful, he started to say it too. He's like, well, I forget and I'm forgetful. And so having an expectation that he was going to be different was pretty unrealistic, since he was convinced that's how he was too. And so I started to talk again. I started to focus my attention on what I wanted to get from my children, not on what I didn't like that was happening. And so when he would forget, instead of saying, you always forget, or you're forgetful, I would say things like, you're a very smart boy and you're very intelligent, and I know that you can remember things, and I know that you can do anything, and I know that you like feeling good, and I know that you want to succeed. And so what can we do together so that we don't continuously forget? And again, this seems really, really simple, but it totally changes the way that you see your child and the way they see themselves. I was now seeing him differently, and he was now seeing himself differently. And in fairness, we all forget. So I also relate to my kids a lot, and I just started to look at him and say, I forget things all the time, but I take steps. I write myself notes. I have a calendar. I put things out the night before so that I don't forget things. And I don't have a problem with you having difficulty remembering things. I have an issue with you not doing anything about them. And so what can we do together so that you remember things and that you feel better, and we're not having these conversations? And after that, he did pin a calendar up on his wall, and he did start making sticky notes to put on things, and he did start bringing things down. And the more he did this, the more I would notice, and the more I noticed, the more he wanted to do it, and the better he felt, and the better I felt, the more I would get more of that. And so again, interestingly enough, you do really get what you focus your attention on. And now my attention was on how great he was and how smart he was and how he could remember things and how he can accomplish anything. And so that's what I got more of. And most situations are like this. If you talk about how they always fight, then they will always fight. If you talk about how they fight, but hey, what can we do to work together so that there's less of this, then that's a totally different approach. Your attention is now focused on what you want and solutions that you can come up with rather than on what they're doing. And that's how I change things in my house. I don't focus on the problems as much. I still catch myself doing that, but generally speaking, I focus on the solutions and what we can do to move past it. And I think that you can use this with any age, even a little one you can look at and say, okay, what can we do together? What can mommy and you do together to remember things, to not have meltdowns, to do anything? Because really, there are solutions to everything if you focus your attention on them. But most of us don't. Most of us want to beat the dead horse of what the problem is, and everyone just shuts down. So this is a different approach, a totally different way of doing things, and not always easy when they're repeatedly doing something. But I can tell you that the shift was huge in our house, and my children feel differently about themselves, and I feel differently about them, and everything is geared towards finding things that work for everybody. And so I hope you like this video. My next video, I think, will be how to get your children to find solutions for themselves when you're not around, because it's easier for you to apply this. Well, it won't be at first, but it will get easier for you to apply this. And second, you want your children to also gear themselves to look for solutions when you're not around and when dealing with other people. So my next video will definitely be about that. So I hope you liked this video. Comment below and share and like this video. And follow me on social. You can check me out on my blog, on Facebook and Instagram. So thanks for tuning in.